Cincinnati just got some much needed help in the secondary. Cincinnati's defense is no secret, has not been good this season or lived up to the expectations. And the main reason for that was the Bengals secondary. It couldn't have got worse, could it? Yes, it could have. Dax Hill early in the season went down with ACL, out the rest of the season. This past weekend against the Los Angeles Chargers in Sunday Night Football, DJ Turner also went down with a shoulder injury, meaning he can't play the rest of the season. We are without 2 corners. So what does Cincinnati do? We pick up Marco Wilson off a waiver claim from the New England Patriots. Ooh, let me go. We're not looking at that just yet. But Marco Wilson, we signed him off of waiver claims from the New England Patriots, just like I said. Wilson was drafted in the 4th round to the Cardinals back in 2021, and has since been traded to the Patriots. He's been a consistent cornerback. Didn't have a really big role for the Patriots this season, like some fans thought. But for Cincinnati, he is a much needed personnel to have on the team. Like I said, Dax Hill out for the rest of the season. DJ Turner out for the rest of the season. Last game against the Chargers, Cam Taylor-Britt, who was supposed to be our cornerback 1, was benched. He was benched during the game. He had to come back in when DJ Turner got hurt, but he got benched. And Josh Newton, our corner rookie from TCU, and DJ Turner were cornerbacks in that game. And in the second half, they played amazing. It was looking like that was going to be our cornerbacks for the rest of the season, and it was good enough to get the job done until DJ Turner got hurt. I think I still have faith in Cam Taylor-Britt. I believe that he can turn it around. But adding Marco Wilson just adds that piece of depth, that one that is needed in the secondary, but also one that can help Cam Taylor-Britt. You can rotate between a 3. I think it would be a pretty decent 3 rotation in the cornerbacks, not including Mike Hilton in the slot. So adding Marco Wilson is huge. So I think most likely since we have a bye this week, coming next week against the Steelers, we'll probably see Cam Taylor-Britt and Josh Newton out there as the wideouts first, and then we'll see Marco Wilson brought in probably in a rotation type of thing, 3 rotation for the outside cornerbacks. Mike Hilton will probably have to take most of the load from the slot like he usually does. But like I said, this is much needed for Cincinnati. It's really unfortunate, and it breaks my heart what happened to DJ Turner. He was having a great season. We'll continue to be praying for him and Dax Hill that they both come back healthy next season. But this is much needed. This is what Cincinnati needs right now. It would have helped if we went after a cornerback during the trade deadline and got someone like Marshawn Lattimore. And I'm not going to keep talking about that because I've had multiple videos where I talk about Marshawn Lattimore, but this was much needed. So let's look at some of his career stats so far he's had in the season since 2021. Since he was drafted, he has had 174 tackles. He's had solo tackles on 133 of those. He's forced 3 fumbles and has had 3 interceptions. No, he is not that playmaker like crazy. He's not like Jalen Ramsey, any of these guys, Marshawn Lattimore. He's not the top end, but he's consistent and he's reliable, and that's exactly what Cincinnati needs. We just need depth and someone that we can rely on. And I fully trust in him. I trust in Cincinnati picking him up, seeing what we can do with him, and using that rotation of Wilson, Taylor-Britt, and Newton is solid enough for me. I think that is enough for us to make it past some of these games, to move past win the games that we lost, but we should have won. Looking at our schedule going forward, we got the Steelers twice, which is going to be hard. Obviously going to Pittsburgh and then coming back to Cincinnati. We have to play the Browns again. We got to play the Broncos, which is such a hard defense to play. We still got to play the Cowboys, which is looking like an easier game than it was thought to be preseason. So with this addition of Marco, it's looking like it was a good move for Cincinnati. Like I said, the rotation is going to be huge for us. And looking at the schedule going forward, let's just talk about what the defense needed to do. Obviously, we know what the offense needs to do. The offense needs to score pretty much 40 points a game for us to win. But with some help in the secondary, because that's really the main problem. There is problems everywhere in the defense, yes. But D-line, we have Trey Hendrickson, who's been carrying the defense on his back with 11 sacks, leads the NFL in sacks. Sam Hubbard has had some highlights in some games. Miles Murphy has had some highlights in some games. Chris Jenkins has had some highlights in some games. Sheldon Rankings has had some highlights in some games. BJ Hill has had some highlights in some games. If we can get that group to play cohesively and all play dominant on this every single snap of every single game, that would look better for the defensive line. Then I'm not worried about the defensive line. Now, moving to the linebackers. Our linebackers are fine. I have full trust in our linebackers. We have Logan Wilson, one of the best linebackers in the league, and Jermaine Pratt. Great linebacker core. The main struggle has been the secondary for Cincinnati. Obviously, through safety, we've got Geno Stone and Von Bell, both older but veteran presence in the defense. I trust in them. I trust that they can turn around the slow starts they've had, and Geno Stone has done that against the Chargers. That was probably his best game. Von Bell still has to pick it up. But cornerbacks, obviously Dax Hill, without Dax Hill for the rest of the season. Without now DJ Turner for the rest of the season, which sucks. But adding the rotation with Marco Wilson, like we're saying, looking at stats now, I think, I'm not trying to be super optimistic because I know we're 4-7, but it adds just enough help from the defense that it gives that one stop. Like I always say, that defense just needs one stop. And I think this defense, if we can use the personnel right and the right scheme, and I trust in Lou that he can figure out the right scheme with this defense, it puts us in a great position to allow Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, and Chase Brown to do exactly what they need to do and exactly what they know how to do and score a lot of points. Obviously, there's some games like the Broncos, it's going to be hard to score a lot of points. Steelers, it's going to be hard to score a lot of points. I think it's impossible to stop this defense the entire game, or stop this offense the entire game. With how many superstars we have on this offense, it's going to be impossible to stop them every single drive. So I think we're guaranteed almost 2 touchdowns a game, pretty much with how the offense looks. We should be guaranteed 2 touchdowns every single week moving forward. But just like I said, this personnel, finding the right scheme, finding the right rotation, I think this puts Cincinnati in a not a perfect spot, but a good spot to let their offense thrive as the defense gets that 1 or 2 stops a game that they need to allow us to turn these losses into wins. Like I said before, we're 1-6 in 1-score games. If we can turn around a few of those games, it's a completely different season. And we have the rest of the season to do that, flip the narrative right now. So I think this was a great move for Cincinnati, as we don't get to see it this weekend because we have a bye, but next weekend we'll get to see and actually see if I'm right, which I hope I am. But don't forget to like this video, comment on how you felt about this move from Cincinnati. If you agreed with the waiver claim, I think it was kind of needed. It wasn't even really an option. We needed somebody to help us in the secondary, so I think it was a necessity. But let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to Bengals Digest for all your Cincinnati Bengals updates, rants, rumors, trades, everything right here. I'm Carson Lokey. I'll see you next time. Peace out.